guys seem to love the last video where I ranked every single woman on the 2025 roster. So today I thought, why not do a part 2 to that video? Now, if you haven't checked out that video, make sure to check out that video because I did basically the first half of the alphabet. And today I'm going to be finishing the second half of the alphabet on the WWE 2025 women's roster. By the way, make sure to stick around to the very end because I'll be including some of the legends that are appearing at Evolution, such as Nikki Bella and Trish Stratus. But before we get into the video, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone for showing so much support to that last video. I mean, this is basically one of my first videos ever and it's received so much love. So yeah, just a huge thank you. I'm currently, however, trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you are not subscribed yet, please smash that subscribe button. I would truly appreciate it. I've also heard that if you subscribe to me, you actually get a mystery text from Liv Morgan at 3 a.m. Anyways, let's get straight onto the rankings. All right, up first we have Zelina Vega. I mean, she just lost her Women's United States Championship. She's a small woman. I think we've got to say that first of all. She's a very small woman. Not to say she's not very capable and not great in the ring. Yeah, her entrance is great. Her gear is always on point. No matter whether it's a Smackdown or Raw, Zelina Vega shows up with fresh gear every single time. As for her in-ring capabilities, I think she absolutely has it all. Honestly, yeah, I think we can put a bigger title on her down the line. And for that reason, I'm gonna put her in the A tier. I think she's an incredible superstar that's definitely slept on. Zoe Stark. Okay, wait, hold up. I forgot to change the D tier. Let me make the D tier right. Yeah, there we go. Ryback tier. We don't do D tier around here. We do Ryback tier. Anyways, onto Zoe Stark. I think Zoe Stark is definitely one of the worst on this list. In ring, I don't really care for her. Her entrance kind of sucks. She's been main eventing, but not in the good way. I'm talking main event. Like, I don't even know what you call it. I'm talking the main event they recorded before SmackDown or Raw. Yeah, there's nothing appealing, in my opinion, to Zoe Stark. I think the faction she was in, could not tell you the name of it for the life of me, but I think that might have been one of the worst factions of the year for sure. I'm gonna have to put Zoe in the Ryback tier. Now we have a new signing. I don't know if you can even call her a signing. I'm pretty sure she's signed though. From TNA, we have Zarya, currently teamed up with the North American Women's Champion in Sol Ruka. I think Zarya looks the part. Zarya. Let me know in the comments how you pronounce it. I'm getting in my own head now. Zarya. No, it is Zarya. I think it is Zarya. I'm going to say Zarya from now on. I think Zarya absolutely looks the part. I think she's been killing it with Sol Ruka, although I feel like she's kind of gone into more of a manager role at the minute with Sol Ruka, which I'm not mad about. I think she's doing a great job, but we've not really got to see her shine in NXT yet. However, I am still going to put Zarya in A tier. I think she has so much potential, and I think she will become a great superstar on the WWE roster. Now we have Rhea Ripley, we have Mommy, we have Woman of the Year. I mean, there's nothing bad to say about Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is everything you want in a superstar. She has the look, she's intimidating, sick entrance music for sure, absolutely dominates in all her matches, and while she's not a high flyer or a particularly flashy in-ring competitor, I think she's a hard hitter. I think she puts on some heavy matches, absolute banger main eventing in Elimination Chamber in Perth. For that reason, S tier superstar, fight me about it. To be honest, I don't think anyone has anything negative to say about Rhea Ripley, and for good reason, I think that is. Up next, we have Piper Niven, now part of Chelsea's Secret Service. I think this role definitely suits her. I think it's elevated her career. I personally was not that interested in Piper before she joined the Service. I'm still not that interested, but I think any storyline that involves Chelsea Green, I'm going to be a lot more interested in. As a singles competitor, however, I mean, I've seen her live in a few singles matches against Becky Lynch, Bianca Bella. Nothing particularly to scream about. I'm going to put her in the C tier. Raw's newest signing is Stephanie Vaquer. Now, maybe the hottest on the entire roster right now. I don't think anyone has come onto the roster from a completely different promotion, come into NXT, immediately won the Women's North American title, immediately won the NXT title, and straight onto Monday Night Raw within the span of, what, 2-3 months at most. I think she's killing it. I think she looks the part. I think, obviously, we know the move that everyone's looking out for on Monday Night Raw, or especially Booker T, should I say. Stephanie Vaquer absolutely the part. I feel like I cannot put her in S tier yet, as we've not seen enough from her on the main roster, but I think she's a solid A tier superstar. Now, the next one is someone that's not particularly on the 2025 roster. However, if you do go on the 2025 WWE roster website, she does actually appear, I think, as the Miz's manager still. I don't know how that works. We've not seen her in forever, but let's just talk about Maryse in her prime. Now, Maryse has had a couple couple accolades back in her day. Obviously, former Divas champion. She's a nostalgia superstar for me. When I think of her, I think of SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, 2011, whichever years they were. If we're talking about Maryse in today's WWE, however, I don't think she really stands a chance. I don't think she really has anything. She doesn't have the in-ring ability. Her entrance is mid. Her look is kind of generic. I'm going to put her in the C tier. However, I will say, as the manager to The Miz, A or S tier, she's a great manager, and I think she suits The Miz so well. But as a solo superstar, just no, not it for me. Not it at all. Up next, we have someone again who's been floating around on NXT. I think she got released and re-signed. I need to check if she's even still with the company, because I don't... Let me just check. I've not seen her in a while. I mean, yeah, I've just checked. She is on the WWE roster. She is apparently on her wiki page, apparently still signed to the WWE. With that being said, I mean, the fact that I can't remember anything notable about her immediately puts her down. She has the look. She's a strong in-ring competitor, and maybe it's just a booking issue at this time. I don't want to be too harsh on her. Okay, I take that back. She's not a strong in-ring competitor. I'm not going to be too harsh on her because of her booking in this early stage. Honestly, I don't think she's great in ring, and if I'm being completely honest, I don't think she really lasts on this current NXT roster. For that reason, I'm going to put Nikita Lions in the C tier. And honestly, I know the IWC do not like Nikita Lions' in-ring ability as well, so we're going to keep her in C tier for now. All right, I'm not going to be doing Nikki Bella or Trish Stratus yet. I'm going to leave that till the end because I want to see where they kind of fall amongst the current WWE roster. But up next, we have Nia Jax. Now, Nia Jax is a very, very interesting one because, first of all, I'm aware she's a heel, but I feel like she's got a lot of heat as an individual anyway. I don't think people particularly gel with her character. With that being said, I think she might be one of the better heels on the roster right now. She's one of those dominating superstars. Like, when you get in the ring with her, you're scared for your life. You know she is going to squish you. For that reason, with her being a strong heel in ring, I'm going to put Nia Jax in the B tier. I don't think she's bad. I don't think she's great. I just think she's a good person to have on the roster for that heelish powerhouse character. Up next, we have a special request from the last video. I did miss her out, so I apologize to this user right here. I'll be ranking Izzy Dame. Now, I'm going to be honest, Izzy Dame again, I feel like it's similar to Nikita Lions. We've not really seen a whole lot of Izzy Dame yet, but I feel like what we've seen has been positive and definitely more positive than Nikita Lions. Again, I don't want to speak too heavily on her because she's a superstar I don't know a whole lot about. I don't know a lot about her history, but from what I've seen, I'm going to put her in a B tier with good potential in the future. Thea Hale. Now, I actually really do like Thea Hale. I don't know, she's just like a little mini character, but I think she's great in ring. She looks the part. Again, we've not seen a whole lot of Thea Hale. She's had a couple like North American title shots. I don't think she's had an NXT women's title shot as of yet, but I absolutely see her being in that title picture very soon. Her whole Chase U thing was fun. I think she was definitely a bit much and jarring, but I guess that fits in with her character. I'm going to put her in the B tier again with potential. These NXT superstars are a bit hard to say because obviously we've not got to see them do a whole lot yet, so it's hard to give a full verdict on some of these, but again, I think they have growth potential, and I'm going to put her in the B tier for that reason. Wendy Chu. Now, I feel like Wendy Chu's whole rebrand was very necessary. Before, she was just like a generic NXT superstar. She's kind of gone into this, like, I don't even know what you call her gimmick, but it's like an evil pajama gimmick. I don't know how you even go about naming it. Yeah, Wendy Chu's definitely slept on, and I'm just gonna have to put her in the B tier with a lot of these potential NXT superstars. I feel like a lot of them have been loitering and not really got their push yet, which is nothing on them, but I feel like we can only see them thrive once they're given a title, once they're given those higher shots. Okay, now we have a woman who has had many different gimmicks. They've kind of revolved around the same like spooky psycho concept. But yeah, she's been passed around from faction to faction. I mean, she's been in NXT factions. She's been partners with Alexa Bliss, obviously now part of the Wyatt Six. I absolutely think the current gimmick with the Wyatt Six suits Nikki Cross the most. I think she's playing her part very well. As a solo superstar, it's not really doing much for her, but obviously she's a team player right now, which you've got to respect. As a solo competitor, she's one of those where it's like, I'm not really interested to see her. She has cool gimmicks in her given factions, but again, as a solo superstar, I mean, if we think back to COVID times when she was stripped of like her spooky gimmick, she was just kind of like a roaming psycho. Not really that interesting to watch, honestly. I'm going to put Nikki in the C tier. Maxine Dri. Maxine Dri is a very interesting one because she actually came onto the scene and had basically never wrestled before. I think we can even go as far to say she never wrestled ever. her before. With that in mind, I think she's doing great. I think if she'd previously come from a wrestling background and this was how she was now, that would be absolutely shocking. But given the fact that she's kind of just come in, learned wrestling on the job, and is now enjoying it and performing as such a good, I'm not going to say she's one of the best, but you know, she's managing to hold up in Afro Academy. I think, yeah, it's pretty impressive, honestly. I think her segments with Afro Academy are engaging. I think she looks incredible. Again, her in-ring talent, she's never wrestled before. We can't expect much from her, but again, I appreciate it is Monday Night Raw. I'm gonna put her in B tier, honestly, which might come as a shock to some of you guys, purely off kind of like a storyline booking situation right now. However, if not put in Alpha Academy, she might be a right back tier, honestly. If she was not saved by Chad Gable, if she was not saved by Kira Tozawa, I think she's very much a right back tier superstar. Oh, up next we have Scarlet. Scarlet needs a solo push so bad. I think she might go on to be one of the best women on the roster. I mean, I'm sure you guys can agree, and I don't mean this like on an attractiveness thing, but just as a wrestler, I think she is the best looking superstar in the WWE roster right now. I think her work with Karrion Kross is insane, and she plays the part so well and matches that gimmick so insanely well. Now, we've not had enough time to see her in-ring ability. I think she may have had like a one match randomly on Smackdown with Karrion. I could not tell you who it was against, but if she can really work on her in-ring ability, and if she can become someone that people want to watch in-ring, I honestly think she can grow to become one of the greatest women of all time. And I honestly really hope she gets that push. Like, I'm talking 2018 Becky and Seth level. I don't know if you guys have seen this Money in the Bank poster right here, but like, I see Karrion and Scarlett having that vibe, both just dominating world champs in the WWE. And for that reason, I'm gonna put her in A tier right now, with very high S tier potential if she gets booked and pushed right. Up next, we have a character, a superstar, a gimmick who I feel like throughout her WWE career has kind of floated as like an accomplice to many different people. And by many different people, I mean the War Raiders / Viking Raiders and the Riot Squad. I think in the Riot Squad, she was kind of like the third member, definitely. And same with the Viking Raiders. She kind of just shows up and doesn't really do much. In terms of looking the part, again, I know I said this about Scarlet, but I think in terms of looking badass, I think no one does it like Valhalla. I think the face paint combo or the war paint combo with the dreads, with the gear, I think she looks so good. But again, we just haven't really got to see her as a solo competitor. And for that reason, I'm going to have to put her in the C tier. Michin. I'm going to have to say she is very much like a B-Fab for me. I mean, they're in a tag team, but I feel like they are the exact same superstar in terms of where they fall on this chart. They both feel like a question of when, not if, they're going to get released. And honestly, to me, it's a question of how have they survived all of these releases and not been released? How out of everyone have Michin and B-Fab managed to stay out of anyone? With that being said, I think that's a comfortable right back tier for me. Nothing else to say on Michin. Now we have an absolute legend in the business in Natalya, star of Total Divas, been on the roster since mid 2000s even. Honestly, hasn't done a whole lot. She's won a Divas title, she's won a Smackdown women's title, tag team titles. I mean, she's done it, but nothing particularly memorable. Now, in my opinion, and I feel like this is how you guys will also feel about Natalya, she's no longer on the roster to be putting on bangers every week in the WWE. I feel like she's more a veteran teacher to the younger talent, and I imagine absolutely backstage she is playing that part. But if we're talking about Natalya as a solo superstar right now, coming out for matches, putting on matches, she can hold up, but I feel like all of her matches just look like rehearsed pieces of gymnastics. Like, I feel like none of it looks authentic. It looks like how she would wrestle in training in the dungeon, like in the Neidhart dungeon with these younger superstars. So with that being said, from a sentiment value, I would put Natalya in like an A tier, but as a pure wrestler, we're gonna have to put Natalya in the C tier if we're being honest with ourselves. Miss Money in the Bank, Naomi. Now, it's been said a lot by basically everyone that Naomi is in her best gimmick yet, and I absolutely have to agree. I think her work is so good right now, and I don't care what you guys say, I think Naomi made the most sense to win the Money in the Bank match. With that being said, however, I think it is incredibly obvious how it's going to go. We're going to get to SummerSlam, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the title. Jade Cargill finally wins her title, but then of course Naomi comes in, cashes in, and wins the WWE Women's title. Now, as a wrestler, I'm going to have to put Naomi in a, you know what, when I think about it, I've not really got anything to critique her on. I'm going to put her in the A tier. Great in ring, entrance is fire, and these promos, let me tell you, these promos she has been cutting, I mean, we're talking tears, we're talking emotion. Like, she is in these promos with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. I didn't even know Naomi had that in her, so that's definitely A tier for me. And finally, on the current WWE Women's 2025 roster, we have Tatum Paxley. I'm not particularly interested in Tatum Paxley. While she looks the part, and I say this about a lot of people, they look the part, but can they perform in ring? Can they match it on the mic? And I've just not seen any of this from Tatum Paxley, nor do I think we will particularly see it. So I'm going to put Tatum Paxley in the bottom of the C tier. Now on to the two legends going into Evolution. And I'm aware these are a bit tricky because the times that these superstars competed in, and I'm talking Trish Stratus, Nikki Bella, are very different to the time now. And the caliber of the roster was very, very different. And I think we can say it was a lot weaker than it was now. So it was a lot easier to stand out at those times. And those gimmicks may not last in such a competitive roster like we have now. With that all being said, we're going to go into Trish Stratus first. Trish Stratus is a legend. Trish Stratus is on many people's Mount Rushmore for women. And I have to agree. Whilst we're talking Attitude Era, whilst we're talking, 2000s, I think we've just got to appreciate how much she was able to do at the time, given the circumstances of the roster, given that women were not given any matches on any cards. But when she was given a match, she performed. There's not much else to say on Trish Stratus. I think Trish Stratus I'm between very high A tier and S tier. But given what we've seen from her on her little comeback, I'm going to go high A tier. Now, if she stopped wrestling in like 2009, 2008, she might have been an S tier, honestly. But maybe she'll redeem herself at Evolution too. Let's see this Sunday. And finally, one of my favorites of all time, star and creator pretty much of Total Bellas and Total Divas, we have Nikki Bella. Now, I do very much appreciate Nikki Bella is a nostalgia superstar. I know she's not crazy good in ring. I know she hasn't done anything crazy notable. Obviously, she's had her longest ever Divas title reign. I might even have to scrap all logic and just put Nikki Bella in S tier. I don't know. Nikki Bella just does something for me. I feel like her presence as a superstar, adding on to the reality TV shows, by the way, I am the biggest Total Divas fan of all time. I love that show. Same with Total Bellas. I think it's very, very cool to be able to see these WWE superstars outside of the WWE ring. And I feel like it just gives you such an extra connection to these superstars that you just can't get through in-ring promos or social media. So for that reason, I'm going to put Nikki Bella in the S tier with Rhea Ripley. Anyway, that is everyone on the WWE 2025 women's roster. If you've not checked out the part 1 yet, still make sure to go check that out. And now that we have the final rankings, I'm very curious to hear who you guys agree with, who you guys disagree with, and I am absolutely sure there's going to be some superstars on here who you guys are absolutely mad at me about, and I'm happy to take the brunt for that. This is just my opinion. I'm very, very curious to see, what you strongly disagree with, what you agree with in the comment section below. Anyways, that is all for today. If you've made it this far, thank you so much to listen to me waffle for the past 15 minutes. I think I deserve a subscribe or like at this point. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.